What's up, everybody? So, I guess I'm going to rank the Resident Evil 5 monsters. And no surprise, I don't really care for them as much as I do for the ones from 4. So, to start off with, we have the generic villagers. Like the third world country villagers. And they're not as cool as the villagers from 4. And they're not even as cool as the cult members from 4. So I'm gonna put him down in B tier. Oh no, I grabbed the wrong guy. Alright, put him down in B tier. And then next we have the tribe, the actual like tribal people, village people. And put them in B. They're okay. Both of these are okay. I don't completely dislike them. I don't like the army guys though, so of course, the army guy is going to go down in D tier. That's where I think, most of the army guys in the last one too. Biggie Smalls, the big old guy that we kept calling Biggie Smalls. I mean, he's just a guy. He doesn't do anything. I'll put him in D. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't explode into a monster or anything. Okay, so this guy, I kind of like him because he has all those nails in him, and it actually has a little bit of like African fetish idol with a bunch of nails in it, like correlations. I don't know if they did it on purpose. It could just be trying to look extreme and cool, like something from one of the movies. Don't know, but I'll put him, I guess, in A tier. Just because it is like set in Africa, there needs to be like more like African style villains and monsters, and he's the closest one that I can think of that's actually kind of themed. Chainsaw Man, man, it's just black Leatherface. It's not as good as like the 1 and 4. I'll put it in C tier. Chainsaw Guy's okay, but he's thin. He's too thin. He's not bulky enough. So I don't know. He's just not imposing. Then we've got just the giant tribesman wearing a headdress. I'm gonna put him down in D. I'm not really a fan of the design that much. Nothing. It's just a giant. He's got like a headdress on. There's nothing cool that happens that makes me think that it's Resident Evil or a monster in any sort. So then we've got Mr. T. And this one looks way more like Mr. T than the one in 4. So D tier. The giant. Even though this giant looks better than the Lord of the Rings looking giant in 4, I find its placement here even more out of place than the one from 4. I can understand the one being in 4 a little bit, because you're in Europe, it's kind of got like a European mythology behind it, but this giant being in the African game, it's just there because the last game had one, so we gotta put one in this one. So it's getting an F tier. Oh my god. The Batipede. It's not that good. I'm putting it in F tier too. I really don't like it that much. It's just a bat with a centipede body. It could have been more, but it's not. It's just very, very basic. The Monster Dogs. I'm putting them in A this time because the face is split open. I forget which ones I put them in last time, but I was upset that the faces didn't split apart like this, like the Thing. And in this one, they go full the Thing, and like half their body splits open in a big like sideways mouth. So okay, I like that part. Big cockroaches from Joe's apartment. Oh my god, it's just a repeat. I'm gonna put them down in F because they really are just a repeat from the other game, and they didn't need to be in there. You could have had something else besides them. The little face hugger plagas. I don't like them as much as I like them in 4. These just look like spiders, and the fact that you can just buy flash grenades for the grenade launcher negates any threat that any of the little plagas has in this game whatsoever. So I'm gonna put it in C. It's just meh. At least it's a monster. It's better than some of these things that don't even really feel like monsters. I know like some of these are monsters, but they don't feel like it. The flying one. It could have been executed a little bit better. I'll put it in B. It could have been executed a little bit better, but it's okay. I get the idea. I like the idea of maybe they can like glide around a little bit, but just having so many of them just turn into that as opposed to having multiple different kinds of monsters that came out. It felt like there was only like maybe 2 different types of monsters that came out of the people's heads. The Licker, or I think it's like supposed to be the beta version of a Licker. I'll put it in A. I mean, it's a classic Resident Evil monster, so you can't really go wrong with it. The Plagas that explode out of the heads and they whip around. I don't like them as much as I like them from 4. I know I keep saying that about a lot of these things, but in 4 they were kind of like pulsating and had tentacles. It reminded me of the Thing a lot. This one is just like a huge, long, wormy thing, and it's got some bones. The coolest part is that it has like some bones in it that looks like it might have been like the human's physiology combined into it to make a weapon. But I don't know. I don't like them as much as I like the other ones, so I'm gonna put them in B. But these, I like these. These are my favorite things from it. Is when they mutate and they turn into the big kind of like shelled thing. It has like a wing type shell that it prevents itself from being attacked with, and has a big old mouth on the inside. It's super the Thing, but it's what it needs. Just go full into it and have tons of mutations and crazy stuff. Put it in S tier. It's my favorite monster from this entire game. Okay, then we got the McPoil that turned into a water graboid. Oh my god. It looked like a graboid from Tremors, or like one of the other things, the little shriekers or ass blasters that they turn into. It looked like one of those, but in the water. And it's a little like dangly, like, my McPoil tongue thing. It was silly. Putting it in C tier. It was a big fish. Could have done something else, but it's a big fish. This is a crab. It was just a crab. That big old monster that you fought in the Keanu Reeves Matrix tanks. It's going to D tier. It was a crab. Oh no, I'm going to put it all the way in F tier. It could have been way cooler. It was a crab. The big wormy ball mass. The Ouroboros or whatever it is. And this is the first time you fight the small one by setting it on fire. I'll put it in C. It's okay, but I don't like how it was like one of the main focus. Like, this is the big monster, and it's just a bunch of little worms that wiggle around. Speaking of, this one is the big one that you fight from the Italian woman. And I'm going to call it the Blob, because that's all it is. It could have been cool when it started absorbing all those like dead people. They could have like had just a bunch of dead people like loosely tied together with the worms, like some sort of golem or something. But they all just like fused together and turned into a big blob. So it's going in D. And then we've got Wesker. Wesker with his big old arms, and there's like helicopter or airplane parts fused into it, so it's like metal. I don't like that. I wish he had just mutated. I don't know. He looked like Krauser kind of. Krauser didn't even have like metal in him when he mutated, but Wesker, he should have done something bigger and crazier than just what he did, with like a glowing like heart spot to be able to attack. So I'm gonna put Wesker in F. It's the big bad guy. It was like the last villain. He needed to mutate huge. I'm sorry, that's it. It's a lot of like low ranking ones. I don't like the military guys or any of the military field. And the monsters they really didn't do it. There was a couple ones that were alright, but for the most part, they just felt very generic. Anyways, thanks for watching. I guess I'll do it for 6 whenever I get done with 6 too.